A 384-page art book for Armored Core 6 is coming out in August. A hidden level has been found in Armored Core 5 over a decade later. And was Armored Core 7 really confirmed? We have all that and more coming up in this video. Hello, I'm Cleric, and I'm here to tell you... First, our lead news story. I wake up one day a week or so ago and start seeing multiple places on social media asking questions like, was Armored Core 7 just confirmed? Miyazaki hints at more Armored Core in the future, and all the way to like, Miyazaki overall happy with Armored Core 6, but there are places to improve it. And there was more things other than that in various places like on Twitter and Reddit and a couple Discords. But I looked up the quotes that I was seeing that were posted in various websites, and I found what I thought I would find. The comments were actually made to IGN Japan in an interview with Miyazaki all the way back in February of this year. But they are just now getting cycled more commonly, and I found they were found on a couple new gaming websites who recently posted about it specifically. Now, I realize this has been around since February, but it's just getting more recently circulated in the Western audience thanks to these couple gaming sites. Now, I knew of the interview back in February, but I realized I actually never talked about any of these news videos. So with that being the case, I thought with its recent reproliferation on social media that I would talk about it a little bit and give its origins as well as the full context of the questions and the answers. So that being said, this comes from an interview that was published on IGN Japan on February 22nd, 2024. The interview was actually mostly about Elden Ring DLC Shadow of the Erdtree, releasing this week on June 26th. Sorry, June 21st. Yes, 621. June 21st is 621, like the protagonist in Armored Core 6. There's no way that was an accident on From's part. Anyways, towards the middle of the interviewer suddenly switches topics from Elden Ring and starts talking about other things. And he asked this question. This is the question that he asked. I'd like to ask you about Armored Core. Last year you released Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, but what do you think about the future of this series? Of course, it's an important series in From Software's history, but what will its position be in the future? Miyazaki's answer was as follows, quote, as you can see from the fact that we made Armored Core 6, the game Armored Core is very important to From Software. Therefore, we have a strong desire to continue making it in the future. I think Armored Core 6 was a success. On the other hand, not everything was perfect, and there's still room for improvement. So we have no intention of ending it here. However, nothing concrete has been decided yet. From that answer, you can get nothing official is confirmed future plans wise for Armored Core. Not a DLC, not an expansion, or Armored Core 7. Miyazaki does kind of seem to confirm here though, at the very least indicate that there is more Armored Core planned for the future. But what that will look like, we don't know, nor is it even hinted at. I took my own guess in a video I released last week talking about timelines and release timelines for Armored Core 6's release dates. And my guess to this, and feel free to check the video out, I take my time going into the release schedule of previous AC titles and what I think that could mean today for Armored Core 6 or future titles. I wanted to point out one more thing for this interview as well though. The very last question in the interview and the associated answer I find extremely interesting. The interviewer asked this question. The game industry is going through a tough situation with some companies undergoing large-scale layoffs and studio closures. I'd like to ask you about your thoughts on the situation and From Software's position. So, Miyazaki responds with this. Of course, I know the situation, however, I don't have much information or knowledge about layoffs at other companies, so there's nothing in particular I can say. As for From Software, we have several other people who can make games as directors. This is the director of Armored Core 6 and core people who support them, so it is time to increase the number of lines and titles. We are now working to become a From Software where directors and other than me are active. It may go against the trend of the industry as a whole, as you said, but From Software is basically in a period of expansion. It's not that we will increase very rapidly, but I feel that we are at a turning point where we can expand our game making style more than ever before. And the aim for the next From Software in this regard, I feel, is this is more important time for me as president than for the director. He names Armored Core specifically here. It implies here that as president, he is going to be greenlighting or looking at greenlighting more projects in the future at once, which would seem to indicate that the limited release schedule From Software is kind of known for and for their past history of releases may become a thing of the past. and with that could mean more Armored Cores coming sooner rather than later, as well as other titles. One can only hope, but only time will tell. In game news, I want to give a shout out to Extra Crispy. This is someone who has been hard at work helping get 5th gen Armored Core to work better on PC emulators, as well as doing something as like importing Armored Core 5 Versus maps into Verdict Day on the PC emulator side. So I think that's really cool. They released a video a couple weeks ago that showed off a map or a level of an unknown facility that was hidden in the code of Armored Core 5, simply labeled as M0400. As you watch the video, you will see as he explores the facility, there are doors to open, corridors, open spaces to explore, and a very virtual looking space, or even almost like a training area vibe. And in fact, the level design to me personally is very reminiscent to like 2nd and 3rd gen Armored Core level design. The way it looks, I get very much the 2nd and 3rd gen map mission level design from those older games. As mentioned in the video description, this level, though it was not used in any of the missions in Armored Core 5, it is mentioned in the Armored Core 5 official setting guide called The Fact. A rough translation of what's mentioned in the fact about the facility is as follows. A mysterious facility where only video materials have been discovered. It appears to be an underground facility with vast area and is built quite deep. Since the machines visible inside the facility are unknown, it is assumed that the facility was built in the past. Very cool find, Extra Crispy. Keep up the good work. In more game news, VaniVidia's Armored Core 6 lore video is out, and as promised it was 5.5 hours. But I gotta say, I watched it together on stream with many of you, and it didn't feel like a slog at all. I learned some things I didn't know or things that I just simply missed. The custom artwork and animations they had done, the voiceover work, the random bits of humor that were just randomly thrown in various places had me dying laughing almost each time they happened. It was overall just an extremely well done video. Vati giving the Armored Core series the exposure and love I feel it deserves is a very welcome sight. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to do so. It is worth the time investment to watch it all. So well done, Vati. The video was awesome. In more game news, Kodokawa is continuing a tradition of releasing Armored Core official artworks books. That tradition continues now with the announcement of their Armored Core 6 art book. There was some confusion in some places online thinking this was a standalone re-release of the book that comes with the collector's edition of Armored Core 6. This is not the same book. That one's much smaller. I have it. This art book is 384 pages and contains sketches and drawings from various parts of development process from different parts of the game, as well as some art and illustrations by guest artists. The book currently is only available on Amazon Japan. Now I say currently, as it was available before at the website Ebten, which was taking pre-orders for a limited edition version of the game that came with a Torch V4 Rusty pendant. But currently their site is down to what appears to be an apparent cyber attack. Cannot order from there for now, and this edition, even though it's special and has the cool pendant on it, was designed to only be available in Japan and not worldwide shipping, unlike the regular version like you see on Amazon Japan. It is set to release on August 23rd. In our last bit of game news, though disappointing, the season update did take place a few weeks ago on May 17th, and with it, as predicted and mostly assumed by many, it came with no changes or updates to the parts or game. Just the ranked PvP rankings and the like were reset. The next season update takes place on July 19th, so I just want to say good luck to all you Ravens out there getting your S ranks and when you are fighting it out for the top spots. Moving on over into model kit news, 30-minute missions announced they're releasing more Armored Core 6 kits. This time we are getting the one and only leader of the Red Guns, G1 Michigan. I'm sure many are happy with this choice, as Michigan has quite the fan base and following when it comes to this game. Along with Michigan is also the release of the Orbiter AC, which those may recognize has the same frame parts as the starter AC with Armored Core 6 the player starts with, though this kit appears to be just with a linear rifle. Although these two model kits is set as customization you may see in these places, they're also releasing a kit of parts. Just some random parts you can go and customize your ACs. What's cool about the 30-minute mission line is that all these parts are interchangeable between the different systems. So different ACs, you can kind of do an amalgamation of different parts and put them together and kind of make your ultimate AC. If you keep releasing more and more of these ACs, there's a chance you might get almost your own custom AC you like to make or use already in the game. These are set to release on December 2024. In more model kit news, Kotobukiya is continuing the recent trend of re-releasing previous gen Armored Core kits. This time it includes, and for what I can find, and feel free to correct me if I'm incorrect on this in the comment section, but I looked around for a while and I couldn't find information on it as far as contradicting what I believe this to be the case. I do believe this is the first time this particular kit has been released by them, and that kit is the Gen 3 model kit of the Crest CR C840 UL Crest Lightweight AC. Those of you who played the old gen games, or particularly Armored Core 3, you may recognize this AC is featured in the opening cinematic of Armored Core 3. This kit is set to release in December 2024. As always, we finish up with our meme of the month. It is now month instead of week, so it changes to monthly videos now. Here is this month's meme, courtesy of user CP Violation. As I was reading, I just realized what that is. I really hope that's not what it means. If it is, shame on you. 6626. The Armored Core subreddit. Here is this week's meme. Yeah, I have a podcast coming out, should be tomorrow. It's the second podcast we've done. I'm asking the question of what is Armored Core 6? I bring in some guests and we read some comments from the video I made out and get some of their ideas on it. And yeah, war crimes did come up during the discussion. So with that being said, I thought this was a very fitting meme to throw in here given that topic. So yeah. Yeah, war crimes, definitely a thing in Armored Core and in general, for sure. All right, that's all we have for the news video for you today. Links to each of the items covered are linked in the description below. As always, I also have in the description below is called the Events Hub. The Events Hub is where you'll find links to various Armored Core communities where you can participate in some cool Armored Core events or tournaments, and some even include prizes. If you'd like to submit a piece of news to be covered in a future news video, there's a link in the description below to submit some information to me. Thank you all so much for your time and taking a look at this video. I hope to see you in the next one. This is Cleric, signing off.